Hello.
Hi.
How is everyone? I'm just getting my notes up. These aren't all my notes for this. I have one long note that's for all of the Cassie books. So I just need to go to the part for Red Scrolls and Magic. There we go. So we're going to start off with the usual. What did everyone rate it?
Giving it 4.
I gave it 5.
I mean, I gave it 5, but that's not a shock, is it?
I loved this one.
It's just so feel good. And I'm just starting this off with a quote from Emma. Emma from Sprints the other day. As it should be called, the story of blue balling.
Yep.
It's an accurate colour.
So sorry. Yeah.
This ain't the reverse dust jacket one. I've got the other one with the other cover. I think the other cover also has blue on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was fun.
But it is so much more like it's nice to have something like this after Queen of Her Darkness and Goes to the Shadow Market. Nice little fun. Like there was moments that were a bit like, oh. But there was nothing heart-wrenchingly rip my heart out, stamp on it, set it on fire. Like
no. The possibility of crying didn't even arise. Like it wasn't even remotely possible.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue. But a lot of that is like, this is so cute, I'm crying. It wasn't sad crying. I think there was one bit that was a bit of a sad tearing up. It wasn't a full cry though. So yeah. Yeah, I would like to just say, because I was writing notes in a notebook and then I misplaced the notebook for a while. So this is from like Lord of Shadows onwards. I want to write them out. I've since found the notebook. Actually getting around to writing them out is a bit daunting and I don't want to do it.
Nah.
That's really valid.
So they're just staring at my face for now. Hello. 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 Usually I have not read this book. Thank you for the support anyway, Chloe.
I love how you're still here supporting even though you have no interest in the books whatsoever.
I love how it started out that Chloe would just join to see if we cried on the
I feel like last time she wanted to make sure that everyone knew that I had cried. Like, just to confirm, she was sad.
I gave it 4. Hello, so glad I could finally make a live show. Rated 4.5. Hello. Look, we all know I was not on about no damn cover colour. We do know this. We do know this. We needed this refresher before Chain of Gold. Yes. And Lost Book of White, whilst it's not as happy-go-lucky as this one, it's not heart-wrenchingly sad. So we get a nice 2-month break from the heartbreak before diving into Chain of Gold.
I feel like that's less heartbreaking now and more just like ridiculously angsty.
It just builds up.
Yeah. It's just like, how much teenage angst can we fit into one series?
I feel like I'm the odd one out now because I'm the only one out of us 3 that haven't read it.
I'm excited to be in the know.
I'm not excited to be the only one not in the know.
At least you won't have to wait like a year and a half for book 3.
True.
Yes.
True.
I know this one isn't a crime book though. I'm sure that will happen again in the future. Can confirm it will. Can confirm.
And Chloe will be there like, have you cried yet? Are you going to cry alive again? I said, I love you, I support you, but cry.
I gave it 4 stars. Nice. Read this after reading the first 3 Mortal Instruments books. Is that the right order? Yes, that is where it places on the timeline. But I will say, there may be mentions of things in this live show from what we know of these characters in the future books. So maybe don't stay on the live show if you've not read past that, because I don't want you
definitely have like post like Dark Artifice's thoughts that like you would not want to hear right now.
So like I don't want you to get spoiled for something in the future. Because we're very much, anything we've read on the read along is free to talk about.
Which is a lot of books when you like, Jesus, what is it? 12, 15, 17, 16, 17 books.
I'm not doing maths right now.
Yes, this
Mortal Instruments.
Because this is the May book. So yes, because we started January last year. Yes.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
It's a lot of books. And this is Happy Go Lucky from.
I would say
it's nice and happy. They're traveling to Europe. Being cute.
On a holiday.
Almost getting killed a few times, but you know, that's what happens
like
when
in a
you're
romantic setting. Like,
in Rome. Don't you think having attempts on your life in Rome? It's all fun.
I also haven't read that series yet, Lisa.
Oh yes, I'm not the only one.
You are not the only one. I read Clockwork Angel and Prince so far after Red Scrolls. Okay, maybe don't stay on the live show then, because we're going to discuss other things. And some of those things may be things that happen in Dark Artifices, which is a lot further away than where you're at. So please don't get spoilers.
If you don't care about spoilers, stay.
If you're fine with spoilers, feel free to stay. I mean, it didn't tear my heart out like Go to the Shadow Market, so suppose a win. You've got to just look at where we've come from to where we're at now.
Yeah, I was editing my wrap up and I was just like, I cried at this one, didn't I? That's a thing I've got to talk about. Like, I did in fact shed a tear because it was real sad. And this one, I was just like, oh, what a romp! I'm having such a good time.
Yeah,
flying through it in the sunshine with a cider. Like, what more do you need?
Absolutely nothing. That is the answer to that question. Absolutely.
I believe one of my favourite things about this book is Helen and Eileen meeting. Like,
that is adorable.
Because I just love them so much.
It's funny.
It was great to get Helen before Eileen, because like most of what we've seen of Helen has been like post. So it was seeing her like insecurity and like getting more of Helen as a character outside of her relationship that we haven't really seen that much.
Yeah.
And
that
also
was really interesting.
Seeing her before the cold piece happens.
Yes.
Also, I'll come back to this at a later time. We're free to go.
But the thing is as well, it's it was seeing the side of Eileen when she didn't really, where she was like, she hadn't come out yet. Yeah. And she was sort of like talking to Alec about it, and like, because we know, I'm like, oh my God, this is I was like, oh.
But you also could tell that she had a moment of just like, why didn't Jace just tell you? Now I have to be the person to come out. Like, I didn't want to do this. Like, I thought we could just get rolling.
It's like, damn it, it's another one I've got to come out to.
Do you know what? My first note, I have no idea what it was for, but I wrote the page number, so we're going to
My first note was, I thought this was set after the Mortal Instruments, and I had like a rude awakening when it was like not. I was like, that makes so much sense, because they're not carting around like all of their baggage from the end of the sixth book. Like, pretty much immediately after that, they get a child. Like, how does that make sense? Like, it just makes sense.
That's where Lost Book of the White fits in the timeline.
Yeah, I was like, it makes sense that it's sort of bridging the gap between the first trilogy and the second trilogy in the series. Like, it was just unexpected. I was just like, I have to reframe all of where I thought this was going.
Yeah. I love how this was like the beginning of the relationship, which again I didn't expect. Obviously, I knew it was their book, but seeing that how he was like at the beginning where Magnus was like really tentative about PDA because he knew that Alec was still, although he was out, he still wasn't fully comfortable. He didn't know how far to push it, and I was just like, oh, why are you so adorable? Why are you so adorable?
So my first note was I like the reference to stories from the Bane Chronicles, and it was the bit in Paris where they're talking about the Marie like the reference to the Marie Antoinette bit. Like, yes.
Way to connect the book there, Cassie.
And I'm just like, I did notice. I think there's one point in this. I don't think I wrote a note on it. I think did they mention Peru again?
I think they did.
Like, can you please stop mentioning Peru? Because I still don't exactly know what happened in Peru.
Oh, Meg's frozen.
Meg has.
I thought she was just smiling. She's actually frozen.
We will do some comments and see if Meg comes back.
Okay, doke.
Alex was like so like obtuse at times. Aileen pouring out slight of her heart about her confusing sexuality, and Alec being like, "What?" I mean, it doesn't end sad. I mean, if I recall, it might end on a cliffhanger. Lost Book of the White is one that I've only read once, though, so I don't recall it as much. So yeah, also, normal disclaimer, the noise in the background is the dog snoring from the other side of the room.
Standard bell.
Yeah. Peru was mentioned a lot. Yeah, I'm going to need them to stop. Basically.
It's stressful. Stressful. It's like I think right at the end of Wicked Powers, when she's about to close off the whole Shadowhunter Chronicles, we're finally gonna find out what happened in Peru. It'll be like a last line of a book, and like or something, or like an extra little snippet.
Or it can just be a random thing where Magnus is maybe talking to Ty and trying to like take Ty's mind off something, and he's like,
yes.
Here's a funny story. Do you want to hear how I got banned from Peru?
Yes. I really, really want that to be a thing. She's not started writing. I don't know if she started writing. Hello, you're back.
Hello.
Hi. The signal might not be great because I'm hotspotting because my Wi-Fi is just gone completely.
Oh.
So
you really do not have a lot of luck with Wi-Fi, do you?
No, I mean I've had like 0 issues since moving here till now.
Are you saying that we're cursing you? The live show is a cursing.
It's a huge.
You can read that first.
I was a bit unsure about this one at first. I do love Alec and Magnus, but we've had a lot of stories based off them. But I was so pleasantly surprised and glad to have loved it. And I feel like this one, even though we have had a lot of their past, like, and they are quite like main characters that aren't main characters, there is so much in this book. Like, we learn a lot about Magnus that we don't learn in Bane Chronicles. Like,
still no fucking Peru explanation. I'm gonna mess it. I'm gonna write to him like, please tell me what happened in Peru. I bet she doesn't even know. I bet that's why she's not told everyone else, because she's just like, I don't know what happened. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave.
Like, there's probably nothing that's ridiculous enough.
No,
like you have to just imagine the most absurd, ridiculous thing, just make it more absurd, and that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
I cannot for life remember Bane Chronicles, and I know I've read it somewhere.
Totally like not related to. Well, it is related to the book, but you haven't had a chance to listen to it. But BD Wong is the narrator for this. And he's like an actual actor, and the narration of this is so good. So if you do ever end up getting a US version of it from somewhere, like,
or they could just, bring it over to UK.
Yeah. I think BD1 does the next one as well, but it's because initially when I was listening to it, because I didn't hear who the narrator was, there's obviously Shin Yuin in this, isn't it? In there, and I was like, is her accent gonna be Chinese, or is, because it really makes me uncomfortable when someone who's not of that origin tries to do that accent when it comes to sort of like a cultural thing. But then when I looked at the narrator, I was like, it's fine. He's not, this accent is actually like, it's fine. I felt a bit uncomfy at first. I was like, who is the narrator for this? Because her accent's quite strong. So I was just like, felt a bit uncomfy, but it's fine. It's actually fine.
My second note literally just says, Tessa, because Tessa turned up. Which, funnily enough, is that or is that not the first point where they are interrupted? Which, do you know what?
No. In fairness, Tessa was there first.
Yeah.
That is fair.
They interrupted her.
It's like a unintentional revenge.
Yeah.
Magnus walking in. If you don't remember, Magnus walked in on Will and Tessa, but they'd already done the deed.
Yeah. It was like in the height.
It was such an inappropriate time as well. I'm like, bro, is this really the time for you all to be sleeping together? Like,
I don't know.
She really does have a knack for compromises.
I love that.
But it was just, the thing is, I just, once that happened once, you knew that whenever they were like getting all heated and stuff, I'm like, something's going to go down. Something's going to happen. First it was Tessa, then a fucking demon. An actual demon. I was like, Jesus Christ, he can't catch a break.
But I love how Tessa actually addresses it as well. Like the next page, it's just like, call it even. I'm just like, Tessa, beautiful human, I love you.
You've held on to that one for a while.
Yeah. A long, hundreds of years.
Can we talk about Izzy in this? Constantly wanting all the gossip. She's their biggest fan and I'm here for it. I love her so much.
But he was so uncomfy and he's like, I'm not talking about this to my sister. Like, and then he asked Jace, and then Jace totally didn't get what he was trying to get at. And then he was like, oh, Jace.
Bless him. He was like, no, I think I got it wrong. Like, call me back. Let me try again.
Yeah. I want another go at this.
But it's funny because, like, at the time of this, they're both in their first actual relationships. So, like, Izzy, the little sister, is the actual, like, experienced one.
And I loved the conversation, like the little nod to like her and Simon, and even then you could sort of tell she was having a bit of feelings, and she just wasn't wanting to. I'm keeping him around. I'm just keeping him around. I think I'm like, is there, bitch? You marry that boy. You marry that boy.
Okay, Tessa has a knack for compromising situation or a kink. Either way, no judgment.
I mean,
the demon in the shower. The worst time for a creepy pair of eyes to appear.
Oh,
we can talk about Jason not getting sexual innuendo. That boy is so good.
But the thing is, it's so Jace though.
But also, at this point, Jace is a virgin. Him and Clary don't get it onto the cave until book 6.
Talk about inappropriate times to have sex. I really just need one because I guess this one did have sex at an appropriate time, I guess. But like, everyone is having sex at the worst times plot-wise. I'm like, you need to reevaluate, reconsider your priorities. Like, it should not be this.
How can your mind be on that? I mean, yeah, fair enough, you're with someone that's hot and you're attracted to them, but it's just like, Your life is on the line, guys. There's shit
that's the
going
thing.
down.
Mary and Jace wanted to get to do it just in case they died the next day.
Hell, you were in a hell dimension. They should have done it before.
Well, the thing is, like, you've just been told that there's an accusation that your boyfriend, your first ever boyfriend that your dad already disapproves of, might have formed a cult, and you're like, meh, let's just get it on, but
Like, but have you taken into account that he's hot?
Then it makes me tingle. Okay.
Like, oh, you disapprove? Great. Come on, Magnus.
Oh god, it's hilarious. But Amanda's like, I don't want to push her. But then whenever they're alone, it's like proper heated, and then they get interrupted, and but Magnus is like.
The thing I most enjoyed of Queen of Red Darkness is the fact they're now chaotic adults and still tipsy. The fact Alec lost it before Jason must be a point of contention.
Absolutely.
Hell
Jace is furious on the inside.
Hell is the perfect place to sin.
That is true. You're already there. You can't be sent there, can you?
I really liked that we got a little bit of a look at Johnny Rook as well at the Shadow Market, because it's like, oh, I know you. Oh, I know you. I don't know what happens to you, but I know you.
It was like a mention of Kit, and I'm like, oh, my little pickpocket.
Oh yeah,
baby Kit.
The fact that he's like
7.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's taking after you. He's like, isn't he like 7?
He's more like 11 at this point.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, and it's like, yeah. I was thinking to myself, you're not a good parent. I know he's not really his parent, but I'm like, that's not a good way to raise a child. Let's teach you how to pickpocket, son. Like, because that's going to get you far in life, not get you arrested about.
Also, I made a point when they're at the Shadow Market in Paris. Rose is the fairy from the Land I Lost in Go to the Shadow Market, and I was like, I didn't make that connection the first time I read Red Scrolls, and then this time I was like, oh, Rose, I know that person. It's like, I need to write this down because that's a connection I've just made.
Even now, 50 million times that you read it, like.
This is only the 3rd time I've read this.
Okay.
It's the 2nd. No, it's the 3rd. It's the 3rd. The fact Alex feels old meeting Kit later on makes me feel... I knew Rose was the same Rose. To be fair, I'm pretty sure the first time I read this was before Go to the Shadow Market. So that might be why it didn't click before.
And you should have recognised Rose in Ghost of the Shadow Market then. That's still no excuse.
Yeah.
I don't remember reading them like that close together.
And you call yourself a Cassie Clare fan. No, don't.
I mean, I'm still slightly confused because you said Johnny Rook wasn't Kit's dad. And I'm like, I'm so confused. Because I'm like, he is, right?
I was like, no, he definitely is. He is his dad.
I was like, maybe I'm an idiot and I won't bring it up. But I've been sat here thinking, then who is for the past couple of minutes? And I'm like, no.
I mean, I was fully thinking, like, did I just mishear? Meg hasn't said anything, so I must have just misheard.
I was doubting myself.
I thought he wasn't his real dad.
No, he definitely is.
Oh, right, okay.
He's definitely his dad.
He's just a bad dad. But, like,
yeah,
obsessed with his mom.
Just
like,
a bad dad.
He was a decent husband.
But he's still Kit's dad.
Just a bad one. Okay, get it. Got it.
I'm glad we cleared that up because I was perplexed.
Well,
I also was like, is it? No. Is it? Yeah, Rose's side, that's Herondale.
Yes.
What other notes? I actually wrote quite a few notes. One of them is just I love Raphael so much.
Oh God,
Just him at the party is everything.
that made me sad though. It didn't make me cry, but I'm just like, I know he's no longer with us, so like that sounds like he's a real person. But you know,
I was also sad because he was like texting Ragnar's number.
Yeah, that was mean.
And I was I think that was one of my blue taps.
they were moments where I felt really sad, and like that's like it. Obviously, that reminded me that Raphael was dead, and then when he was texting RF and it realized it was Ragnar, then that was kind of like, oh, that's really sad, and that like it feels like, but he still got Lily, but I didn't cry.
Like we know that Ragnar is alive because we see him in Queen of Air and Darkness, and then we see him in the end of this one. But I'm like, did Raphael die before knowing that Ragnar was alive?
See, that's the thing. I need Cassie to confirm whether Raphael knew that he was still alive.
Like, that's awful if he did.
Part of me is like, did Raphael know Ragnar was alive and just like knew that Ragnar couldn't text him back, but wanted to like keep Ragnar updated?
Well, I mean, like at the moment, I feel like no one knows that Ragnar is alive, so I feel like that is just his way of like sort of keeping his memory alive. But like, obviously, we know that Raphael doesn't make it to the end of the series, but I don't know when we find out that Raphael is alive or like other people in the world do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, did Raphael know before?
Oh,
I guess that's something we might find out.
I hope Raphael knew that Ragnar was alive. Johnny Rick is just Johnny Rick. Oh, don't even get me started on the last line of this book. I was not okay with it.
No.
Can we appreciate that Magnus's priority for the mission was that he had to get 3 meals a day?
Yeah.
Like they arrived and he was like, no breakfast, we're having breakfast first. I'm just like, he is a whole mood.
I mean, to be fair, that is true. He speaks the truth.
And also, Alec needs to keep his strength up. He's a shadow hunter.
Yeah, he's a growing boy.
But still, it's nice.
Can we talk about the rune scene now?
Huh?
Can we talk about the rune scene when Magnus is like, so what does this one do? And then he's like, did you say that on purpose to be sexy, or is that actually what it does? And Alec's like, well, I didn't say it on purpose. That is what it does. But if it was sexy, I'm not mad about that. I will take advantage of the fact I was inadvertently sexy.
I love how he gets more confident. You see Alex's confidence grow throughout the book as well. Because like it's quite a big jump when you're reading the more instruments. You're just like, well, it's just started out, and then suddenly, he's really confident around him. Like this is the gap that needed to be bridged. This is why this book is important. You see that progress.
And I just think it's really cool as well that Magnus like didn't push him at all, and it was very much like he knew this is all very new to Alec. But you know, it was let him come round in his own time, and the fact that that was like Alec, when he questioned whether or not like he let someone get in his head when he said, "Oh, but does he love you?" And that's when you saw a bit of Magnus's insecurity about, you know, he's really fallen for this boy, and you know, he said he never would fall for a shadow hunter, but then he did, and it's like, but does he love you? And then when Alec had to sort of like reaffirm it at the end, like he does love it, I was like, oh, that's so cute.
I love how ride or die they are for each other. Like just straight off the bat, they're just like, well, this is it now.
It's like, I'm dying for you. No, I'm dying for you. Yeah. You're staying safe. I'm dying. No, that's not how it works.
Which kind of really ties in nicely to like in Queen of Red Darkness when they're in Fuel and you find out Alec just fully just like put Magnus out of his misery and then killed himself.
Yeah. That
was before they had children.
Like, other Magnus is like, absolutely not. You are never doing that. Like, let's just catch that out right now.
Our children.
Ex-nay on me, murder suicide.
Oh God.
I will never forgive Cassie for Raphael.
No.
Never forgiven her for that. I love her so much.
The thing is, though, that does give Lily the chance to like come to the forefront, though, because it was very much that, like, yeah.
Because I feel like that's the next step for Lily, is causing problems.
I feel like Lily's more likely to be able to control Elliot as well.
Oh, Elliot. Elliot was a fucking mess. It's like a little puppy, and it's like, oh, go do this, oh, go do that. Like a little golden retriever. It's like, goodbye, Elliot. Goodbye.
I love him so much. It cracks me up. Magnus is so chill at the start. I loved it. Not taking anything seriously. Oh, also, what's her face?
He was taking the holiday so seriously, though. He was like, no, Paris has to be perfect. I'm going to spend so much magic floating a hot air balloon, and also getting like 5-star silver service food served to us. Like, he was putting in so much effort for it all to go horribly, horribly wrong. But like, he really cared. He was the opposite of chill. He was like, this has to be the perfect first holiday as a couple.
I pissed myself when they were like, and it crashed, and he was, and it actually mentioned how he was trying to hold all this magic together. I'm like, oh, Magnus, you do realize Alec doesn't care about all this like fancy shit. Like, it's Alec.
I love how at the end as well, they was like, oh, well, we've not gone to all the places, and Magnus is like, oh, I can arrange it, and Alec was like, no, we can. They don't need to know we're back from holiday. We can just stay here, and they just like took pictures in the background and then enjoyed the rest of the holiday. I was like, that is a mood. I love this.
But I love how it was Alec that suggested that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no. And he's not only the one that's like a stickler for the rules. And this, like I said, this showed his confidence, but this also shows him like breaking away from that. Like, I have to follow the Shadowhunter rules to the letter, and like there's not everything's black and white. There's a grey area, and this is like where the grey area is. And it's sort of like him learning that as it goes as well, which I absolutely loved.
I think it's also like it's when he started to like wake up to the Clave not being the greatest, because obviously usually he would just blindly follow the rules, but now you know he's falling for someone, and he's starting to think, wait, how are they going to react to this situation Magnus is in? Oh, we can't tell them. I need to find out, like I need to find proof of what we're saying before we go to the Clave, otherwise the Clave aren't going to believe us. And I'm just like, yes, Alec,
you're wising up, boy.
The fact we see how much Alec will go to save who he loves. The Ghost of the Shadow story where they adopted the child Rave.
Speaking of little children, you can already see Alex's little parental side coming in when he saves that little girl and like feeds her. And like says to the like, are you going back to the market? And like, yeah, like look after her. And I was like, you, sir, are fucking adorable. Stop being so goddamn adorable.
Yeah.
Also, there was a couple of things that were mentioned in this that, again, if you've not read further than this book, then it's like you don't see them. But like Prince Adian's mentioned.
Yeah.
And Malcolm mentioning him working on something, and I was just like, I know what you're working on. I don't like it.
It was so sad to see Helen like so ready to trust Malcolm. She was like, he's the only warlock I trust. I'm like, babe, don't.
You are so wrong.
You're a horrible surprise. Like, don't do it.
Like, this is not the one. Definitely not the one.
No.
Also,
oh god,
seeing Lily and Alec in this book, because they're like besties in Ghost of the Shadow Market.
Yeah.
But in this, Lily really does not like him. Because he's just another shadow hunter, which, to be fair, at this point, they don't know him as anything else. They've not got to know Alec. And seeing how much she dislikes him at this point, to how their friendship grows, I'm just like, I love this friendship development. I would easily read an entire story that's just their friendship.
Yeah, just because it's so bad, like the banter between them as well is just great.
Yeah, I say this about a lot of the side characters, though. I would love to see like an actual full story just of them. But I feel like Cassie hasn't got it in herself to write all the stories.
It'd be a
fair. Just getting here what's been discussed so far. Mostly just how adorable they are.
Just adorable.
And how sad seeing Raphael and seeing Ragnar mentioned, and them all thinking Ragnar's dead. It's very sad. But also mostly happy because Alec and Magnus.
Yeah, I love how like the biggest like through thread of this book was just we want to sleep together. That was the one thing that just followed through the entire time. This entire book was just like, how many obstacles can one couple go through before they can finally sleep together?
So much foreshadowing from Malcolm. Yes. And this is why it's important to read the Dark Artifices first.
There is so much foreshadowing from Malcolm in other books. Which is why it's so important to read the Dark Artifices first.
Which unfortunately Meg did not find out in time.
No.
We need a happy novella bind up of happy funny moments of all the characters. Yes, like all the others have really like sad stories, and it's like, no, let this be a happy one where we get like just fun little short stories. They can be like 50 pages each. Doesn't have to be a big book, just like one story per like character or something. I just want happy.
Well, yeah, so like in like the Bane Chronicles and in Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy and Ghosts, we got like the Last Hours crew. So we got like James, Matthew, and Anna, and they all had such sad stories. So I'm like, can I have a happy one now, please?
Right. Let these characters be happy.
Yeah. Like Matthew had a really bad time. James was also really going through it, and Anna had her heart broken. Like, can we have like a party maybe? And all just have a nice happy time. Like let Anna and Matthew go shopping.
Yes. They've got to get ready for this big party that everyone's going to have.
Yeah.
So they've got to get new outfits.
I'm like,
just let them be happy. They're one of the best couples. The discussion between Rafe and Alec with I think it's a Fae girl is Cassie's nod towards Rafe's asexuality. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I have back in the day before it clicked that Raphael is most likely asexual. I read fanfic of him and Simon.
Oh no.
Look, I'm not sorry.
It was a different time.
I was young. Younger.
At least it wasn't Jason Simon. Like at least it wasn't that.
No. The only Jason Simon fanfic I would read is if someone was like, right, we didn't get enough screen time of them being besties playing like Xbox and whatnot. I'm gonna write it because Cassie hasn't.
Yeah.
That's the only
friendship
fanfic
only. Yeah. Friendship only.
What other Magnus's story, that the full story with his stepfather trying to kill him.
Oh, that was horrible.
That was one of my crazy bits. Because that was not okay.
I was not like angry. I was like, that's a baby.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing to the baby?
Like, fully, just because he had different eyes. Like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Stop it.
That was not okay. Like, that was really not okay.
Don't judge me, Lottie. Don't you can feel your judgment in this comment. It's the 3 question marks and the capitals for me. It was so strange reading this book because it was a lot shorter than the other books we've read. I think it's the shortest Cassie book.
I read it so quickly. I got to the end and I was like, oh, it's over. Like, I read it in a weekend and I had no audiobook. I just used my eyes, and I'm done now. It was mad.
Yeah. It was great. And the fact Izzy states Simon and Jace are playing games in the background. I just love their friendship so much.
Yeah.
The way Alex says Magnus wears his makeup and clothes like an armour.
Oh.
And that was why he went feral when he saw him in a towel. I'm like, maybe there was another reason also, but like, okay. One of my favourite things.
So good.
It's just that we saw a lot of like Alex's internal monologue with being like, oh, I want to make a difference actually. Like I want to be in charge of an institute and like be part of the clave and like change it from the inside. And like knowing where we end up with that, I was just like, oh, like, because you get so little of Alex's perspective in the rest of the book that it was nice to see him be like, oh no, actually, like I'm no longer a kid. Like things are not great, and I'm going to be the one to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then like recruiting people, like you two are going to help.
The way that he just like, when Raphael was trying to like pretend he didn't care, and he was just like, "Give me your phone," and then and Lily was like, oh, "He gave me a phone."
When it like, give me your phone, it's like, I don't have a phone. It's like, I literally saw you texting with it. Like, Raphael is a mood.
It's so grumpy. It's like, you can clearly tell he cares, but he just doesn't want to show anyone that he cares. And he's just like, I don't care about Magnus.
Growing up Catholic will do that to a person, like it messes you up. You have to repress everything.
Like, I don't care if Magnus is okay, but is he okay?
I'll tell you he's not okay, but I don't care.
Yeah, like very much looking out for him, but not looking out for him. He would never do that.
No. What?
I loved the fact that like Malcolm and Barnabas were fighting, like because we don't like Barnabas, but like this is like timeline wise, this is the first time we see Barnabas, and imagine if you're reading this in timeline order the first time, and you're just like, who's this guy? Like, and then like you get to meet him, and he's like just a creep.
Yeah.
In Dark Artifices, and I'm just like, no.
Well, if you're reading it in timeline order, then Malcolm Page is also just like some dude. He's like, like,
and he's just like a party animal. He's like, ooh, I just stole this house. Like, have a party. Where's the next party? Woo! like, he's just like this party animal that just steals people's homes and
like it
just wants to have fun.
It's very much like you can see that he's doing this to like come across as this really like eccentric person, like to hide the fact that he's actually evil and should not be allowed.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a flip.
Also, Leon being an absolute creep and Alec just fully shutting him down. Like just being like, well, I mean, we'd have to keep it a secret, but like you can be my bit on the side essentially. And it's like, no. No.
Like I've still not managed to sleep with my actual boyfriend. Do you think I want to sneak around with you? Like
no.
This is the correct answer. When Alec does call, Rafe answers with lose my number.
Well, Alec then just like he's like, what do you mean? Like, you said you were going to help. And he's just like, I say that to everybody. What do you want? He was like getting like proper like, what do you mean, Lucian? But like, you're literally the only help I have right now. Like, I need you to give me. And Raphael's just like, yeah, okay, I will. Calm down. I'm just rude.
Just my vibe, bro.
Have loved getting to read more of the Wraith again. It's so sad we lost him. I just want to stay in denial that we didn't, even though I know we did.
He's still alive.
The old Wraith could have come back with them, but no. He could have come back just to be like, change your child's name. You're not naming him after me. Oh no, I can't get back. I'll just stay here now. Like, that would have been great. I would have been okay with that. Magnus also being defensive against Leon too. Even the flirt said hell no.
Yeah.
Helen and Elaine. Loved the meeting. They were just so cute from the get-go. And I'm just like, oh, I'm here for this. It's so much fun. I love it so
I also
much.
love how oblivious Alec was. Because, like, Elaine was like, yeah, no, I trust you, Alec. Like, I agree with everything you're saying because you're Alec. But also, hi, Helen. And Alec was just like, oh, she hates her. Oh, no, that could make things difficult. And I'm like, babe, where did you go?
That's not it, my friend.
You are missing some very fundamental pieces of this puzzle. From the exact wrong conclusion.
Well, he's thinking about sleeping with his boyfriend that he hasn't done it yet. So he's like
distracted.
I mean, it's fair. That's a fair distraction.
It's Magnus and the golden eyes. Like,
I feel like we should talk about the main thing. And I feel like we've spoken about the happy things.
Not like the plot.
Yeah. I mean,
Katerina. Let's
It was-
talk about Katerina, not the girl beginning with S. She doesn't exist. She never happened. Katerina initially disliking Alec, and then him saving her life, and then she like, I like you now.
really just saw how he like sprung into action when the like house was like just falling apart and saving
Magnus
everyone.
I'm just like, oh, Alec, to the rescue.
Elaine's eyes were literally falling out of her head. Like, Helen, read the room. But also it's kind of sad because like Helen was so like, I need to like follow the rules like to the T because I'm half fairy and they already hate me. And I was just like, Helen, you don't know what's going to happen to you and it makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Like, but you'll be with your new eye candy, so it's fine. The way you wanted to defend Helen's sexuality against Helene, not realising she was actually interested and not like other shadow hunters.
Oh god.
I would just like to say, I got a message from Lisa when she first started reading, just saying, don't think I trust. How do you pronounce her name?
Xinyan.
Xinyan.
Okay.
Don't think I trust Xinyu. And I didn't even bother. I didn't react to it. I didn't reply. Granted, it was sent pretty late, so I had the excuse of like, oh, I'm asleep. I feel like she knows I'm not going to reply to certain messages at this point. Because the only other message I got was, oh my God, the eldest curse has been mentioned, which I was like, yes. Because like I love it when the Sirius name is mentioned in the book. But yeah, it was, I wanted to trust her. But I was just like, at times I was like, I don't know if she is on their side or not. And then as it started going through, I was like, she's just acting a bit suspicious. Like, that's suspicious.
That's weird. Yeah.
Like, everything was too convenient. Like, her magically showing up at the right time on the train. And like, oh, no, I wasn't going to attack you in the shadow market. you attacked me first. I'm like, did
I
he
was
know?
trying to
Like,
help.
No.
Was she trying to help? Was she?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
Like,
I was
was
in a
suspicious
different
from.
version of the book. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I was sad, but it was the moment that she turned up in the bath. I was like, oh no, I was right. Oh
no.
no.
That bit solidified it for me. Like, why are you nakedness in the hot? Why are you doing this? Why are you drinking it, Magnus? Why are you taking a drink off her? And I was like, bitch, no, that's got something in it. And then she was like, oh, let's go, and then he's like, Alex told me to stay here. And she's like, oh well, it'll be happy that you've worked it out. And like, oh right, okay, yeah. Like, no, Magnus, you've been around.
I'll let him know where we're going. Tells him a completely different place that's obviously a trap.
Magnus, you've been around for hundreds of years and you fell for this shit.
yeah, like it was very much giving like that evil queen, like Poison Apple, Snow White scene, where I was just like, if I saw this in a film, I'd be like screaming, like, don't do it. Like, you know that's poison. Like, you have to know.
Like, also, when she said, oh, like, the phone's not working, like, oh, I'll text Alec, he could have fully just been like, oh, no, I'll just quickly call him. And then she would have been really defensive, and that would have given it away. But no. He just trusted her. I was suspicious of her from the start. I'm so naive that it completely took me by surprise when she was revealed as the villain.
Like, how often do people ever really leave cults, like, just off their own back with no support system? Like,
yeah.
Never trusted her, but loved that she was totally unaware of Magnus' demon lineage.
That was hilarious. That was fucking hilarious.
I was like, I was rooting for you.
We're all rooting for you.
Also on that bit where like Alec could see like all of these different Magnuses and Shinyus and knew exactly who was the right one. And I was like,
Magnus was like, is it because I was a bad fighter?
Like, no, it's true love, bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, he knows you.
They're just so adorable. I love them so much.
I just wanted to hit her in the face though, because obviously I didn't trust her to begin with. Then she revealed that she was the villain, she is the problem, and then she was like, obviously telling him her big plan, like, I'm his daughter, and he's like, bitch, I'm his actual child. She's like, I was like waiting for the big reveal, and then when she found out, and she was like, no. I was like,
but also, Asmodeus fully played her, and she was naive enough to just like go with it.
And then she was just like, oh, but yeah, no, like he said no now, so do you want to come back into the fold? She's like, yeah, this is my only option, yes. I'm like, oh my god, what?
Yeah. And then on the one hand, no. On the one hand, for like Alex's character, like I love that he let her go. On the other hand, he let her go. Like, she just loose in the world.
Like, I know that he was thinking like Magnus probably won't forgive him for like killing her or turning her over to the clave or like, you know, sticking to the rules or whatnot. But on this occasion, this would have been an occasion where I would stick to the rules. And like Magnus would understand. Like, yes, she's been through shit, she's had trauma, but trauma's not a reason to be a villain, friends. Just take away from this whole thing. So, you know, still a crazy cult lady. And you just saw like
now you can go cause more problems. Perfect, just what we need.
We don't have enough issues in the world.
One of my favorite things though, and this was like a happy crying thing, was stop telling me to let you go. I will never listen. I want to be with you. I never wanted anything more in my life. If you fall, I want to fall with you. Alec, when did you become a romantic like that? Like, dude, you're playing with my heart here. I fully was like just crying, like, why would you say this? Like, I'm not ready. It's cute. Like, stop it. But then, like, oh, where was it? It was like the next page, and it's like Magnus is just like, to the Penhallow girl, this is not the time for love. This is the time for leaving immediately.
I mean, he's had his moment. He needs to get out of there now.
Oh, the twist that surprised me was Ragnarfell.
I didn't expect to see him in this book at all. Like, it did surprise me that
Yeah.
I sort of just assumed we'd find out more about Ragnarfell just like eventually in some books somewhere. Well, to be fair, at first I was like, I feel like I've just forgotten to read something that I should have read, and that's when we found out when he showed up in Queen of Her and Darkness. I was like, did we know this? Have I missed this? I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean that's Ragnarfell? Like, he died. Like, in very plot relevant reasons. Like, what do you mean?
Hopefully just ending the book with "You're all on your own, Ragnarfell. Everybody thinks you're dead" was not okay. I mean, we know that Cassie is never okay when she ends a book. I'm looking at you, Lord of Shadows. I just, why is she like this? Why does she have to do this?
But the thing is, now that we know that he's actually alive, this bit didn't hurt so much. It was still horrible that he was like told this and he was made to feel like this, but I was like, but he's actually alive, so we're fine.
Yeah, like, it makes me sad in the sense that, like, he doesn't think anyone's coming to help him. But I didn't cry because I was like, I know he's going to get out of this okay. So it's fine. Yeah. He might go through some trauma, but at the end of the day, it's fine.
It's just a smidge.
Yes, we did talk about Tessa and the fact that Tessa walked in on them.
No. They walked in on Tessa just being that way in. He was just chilling, waiting for Magnus to show up because, he low-key started a cult and, someone had to make that his problem again. And they just did not notice because they were like a little occupied.
Occupado.
Joking about a cult, then it becoming a reality is such a Magnus thing to happen.
It's like thesis of what the cult was for was just like so ridiculous. Alex was just like, this is so harmless. Like, you're telling them to prank them and look after children. Like, why did you think we hate you? Like,
and he's like, this is you. As soon as he read, like, the ethos of the cult is like, Magnus, this is you. Like, this was you. You might not remember it, babe, but it was you.
And then Magnus is all self-conscious because he's like, oh, this is so frivolous, and he's going to think I'm such like an ignoramus and like don't take anything seriously. And Alex was like, that's pretty funny actually.
We got to actually see Alec isn't as serious as he like comes across.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, because that was all of like the repression, all of the like, oh, I'm in love with my best friend. Like, I must hate everybody now. And then he got over himself. He's actually pretty chill.
I like seeing a bit of the reverse thing, like I said before. Like, you saw Alex growing confidence. You saw that Magnus isn't totally like impervious to like being insecure about himself, even though he's lived hundreds of years. He still has those moments, and it was just, I think it was adorable where they're like, oh, she'll go finish our holiday, and then went back to Magnus's place, and I was like, bitch, you just want to be home, don't you?
I don't blame him.
No.
I loved the fact that Alex was just like, so I missed him when I went for a drive 20 minutes away. Do you think he'll let me move in? And I'm like, when do you have that conversation? Like, please, I want to see that conversation.
See, I would love to have that conversation because Magnus has literally just thought the same thing. Like, I miss it. Like, I would love to move in. No, it's too early. I'm like, you're in sync, guys. You're in sync, but you're not talking. talk.
They're on the same
just-
page, but they don't realise it.
No, and it was like, how am I missing him so much? Like after just being away from him for such a little time, like I miss my family, but like not the same way that I miss him. And I'm like, because you're in love. You're in love.
I did like one of the nicer bits when I was like, I really hope Shinya is okay, was when they was like competing with the tents. I was just like, this, like, I just love this.
Yeah.
It was such a light-hearted moment before the slight pain. I forgot who Ragnarfell was, I won't lie. Oh, Emma.
How?
Totally deserved, but damn, Cassie really blocked Magnus and Alec the entire book. I mean, as you weren't here at the beginning, Emma, the lovely Emma, on Sprints the other day, this is a direct quote, as it should be called, the story of blue balling. That might be my favourite note, and it's not even mine.
The blue balls of magic.
Alec's character development across the whole series is so good compared to how he is in City of Bones. Yes, I think like my favourite Alec is Alec in the like present time, but that's because we've seen the full development, and I'm so excited to see what he's gonna achieve in the Wicked Powers, because he's gonna be there. He's like a big part of like the Claven that now, so he's gonna be there, and I'm really excited to see it. Like so excited.
You know, there was a line actually in the book that was just like about Magnus talking about like home and how like home is only ever like where he is because he doesn't have a home. And then he was like, but for Shadowhunters it's different because they have a city that is always there for them. Like they can always go home. And I'm like, oh, Canada.
Oh, how
like what a thing to say.
I reckon she already had the plan in place when she wrote that. I'm curious.
Possibly
Red Scrolls of Magic come out after Queen of Red Darkness, didn't it?
I have no clue.
Oh, did it?
Hang on a sec. 2019. Queen of Red Darkness was 2018?
So that was just to hurt people. That was just to remind you. Actually, no, it was no longer.
Actually, you can't go home.
This is going to continue to be a plot point.
I'll just remind you that the wankers have taken over the place. And they will be there for the foreseeable.
Just hit home. This was not great.
Queen of Red Darkness was 2018.
Cassie. Just
Cassie.
Really.
Are we shocked at this point that she likes to just throw little things in little her ass? No.
I don't want to read Swordcatcher now that this has been reminded me of how much she likes it.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty scared for how Swordcatcher's going to go, especially since it's adult as well. So she's going to be a bit more brutal, I feel. But I'm enjoying it so far.
See, I'm hesitant because we don't know when it's continuing.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like I'm going to regret the decision to read it before it's even out. But you know what? We're not going to talk about that.
I'm just like, I know how much I already want the Wicked Powers, and like, I've got no clue.
Speaking of the Wicked Powers, Cassie has confirmed that the series is going to be a complete split between two sets of characters. So it's going to it's going to be a different setup to all the other books. So the series is going to be completely split between Drew, Ash, and Jaime, and Ty and Kit. She has confirmed.
But there's no dates. She needs to say the date of the first Wicked Powers book will be.
I mean, she's technically still on like a hiatus from writing, I think. So
she's had enough time.
I mean, she hasn't though, has she?
No, but she has.
I don't think it's even started yet because she's having to do final edits of Swordcatcher, surely. Because that's not completely finished. Yeah, arcs have been sent out, but things can still change in those last few months.
Let me live my imaginary thing, like dream world. Thank you.
I saw that reel earlier. I'm so excited. Not excited for the wait though.
I mean, to be fair though, we still have the Secrets of Blackthorn Manor to read, Blackthorn Hall, whichever one that is.
I really need to start reading that.
Not that it's like a book that is easy to read, like it is just information on the internet. Yeah, but it's so hard to read chronologically because you have to scroll down to like the beginning and then go up.
And then if you don't get to read it all in one go, you've got to then leave the site and go back to it, find where you were. Oh, it's going to be stressful.
I know. If only I'd been up to date when I was getting them emailed to me every week.
Yeah, I was up to date. I don't know why I wasn't reading them.
No.
I think I just fell too far behind, and then I was like, oh, this is so much effort to catch up.
Rebecca. Yes, I full named you then. That is a disgrace.
Who would have thought that Brady Alec would turn to such a silly little sweetheart with Magnus?
So cute.
This feels like the torture Sarah J. Maas puts us through. Every damn time.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for Wicked Powers. I want it now, but don't want the Shadowhunters universe to end. Same. I'm like, as much as I'm like, oh, I need the Wicked Powers now. I'm just like, once we've had the Wicked Powers and we've had the third book in this series, that's it. We got no more. And I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to be able to say there's no more Shadowhunter books coming out. I'm not ready. Nope.
It'll be a couple of years off yet, so it's fine.
No, but like it will fulfill the prophecy of like when I was in high school. I was like, they kept announcing more books that were going to be coming out in the series. Where I was just like, oh, they're still going to be writing this by the time I'm 30. And I'm like, that's probably true. Like we're nearly there.
Oh, we need to make that a thing now. I'm like, Kathy, release it on Meg's 30th birthday. I'll just have to make 30th birthday.
Yeah.
The last book.
You've got 3 years.
That rule of Cassie has me so excited for Wicked Powers. Why must we wait 15 years of my life? Well, now I'm sad. Sorry for making you sad. Jesus Christ. Do you know what? I'm going to see when I first read City of Bones, because I was quite late to it. I think I started reading them just before Dark Artifices came out.
I was reading them. The series was not complete. There were 3 books out.
I was at the grand old age of 34.
Yeah.
I'm quite lucky that I've not had the only way I'm gonna have is for the last 3 books of the Eldest Curses book. Like everything else is already out.
2016, May 2016. I read it twice in 2018 and then once in 2022.
No, I think it was like 20, like I guess 13 or 14 when I was in year 8.
Bloody hell.
Those were the days.
But then I did stop after like 9 books, like so it wasn't too bad for me.
Now you're back again.
Yeah. Back.
And I'm only 1 book behind.
You are, because Lost Book of the White is the only one you haven't read.
Yeah. Oh, and like the Shadowhunter Codex, but like I'm not counting that.
There's not technically. That's just like a nice little additional thing. Yeah. Same as the illustrated one. Like
I want to read the illustrated one, but I'm going to wait till I've finished Up to Date first. Because I don't want to get any spoilers for like what characters' personalities are like, because I know it has descriptions of characters in them, and I want to go in not knowing each personality, because if I go in knowing that, I think it might won't ruin it, but it's just like it's fun finding that stuff out in it.
Yeah. I reckon 2027 the whole thing will end. I don't say that because that's only 4 years away. It's only 4 years away. I want more than 4 years. I was late. I started after the movie came out. I I think I read them before I knew about the movie. And because when did the movie come out? I can't even
I was
remember.
in high school, I think.
But I was fully like, I didn't know about the movie until after I'd started reading them. And there's two good things about the movie. The casting for Jason Clary and the fact that the greenhouse scene is there. The only two things. I don't like anything else about that film.
2013.
What?
I read them in 2009. I was like getting my dates. I started high school in 2008, so I read them in 2009. And I was still in high school when the film came out in 2013.
You started high school the year before I left high school.
You started 4 years after I'd left.
Crazy how this time thing works.
I read City of Bones just the second book come out, and then I remembered reading the third and her announcing the fourth, and I'm like, I need more. But in fairness, I got back into reading in 2016, so I reread them all then, back to back to back. Yeah. Then I met Joe Christoph and Sarah J. Maas, and it went downhill since then.
You just love all the pain.
I need to read Chain of Thorns, and then I'm all caught up. Yes.
Like, it came out in March. How have you read Chain of Iron and not been like, okay, time to read Chain of Thorns immediately because it's out now?
Chain of Thorns came out in January.
It was supposed to be March, wasn't it? Like last
March
year.
last year.
That's why March was in my brain. But wait, you've had like 5 months to read Chain of Thorns. What's wrong with you?
We literally took the day off work to read.
I was like, I must know how this resolves.
It was maybe
because the audiobook wasn't available.
Yes. Although I just went ahead and did the let's go on US Audible.
I mean, same, but it would have been so much nicer to use a credit I already had in my UK Audible.
Yeah. It was maybe 12 years I read the first City of Bones, but I only read up to the end of Dark Heart of Isis, so everything's now my first time reading.
Yeah.
It is the 20th anniversary. Last year was the 20th anniversary. So it'd be a nice celebration to conclude that.
20 years. That's wild.
Still. 12 years ago, I mean. I finished high school in 2007. It's 2 years before me. I'm a 2000 class of 2019. 2009. I finished 2015. Emma, I forget that you're a baby. Sorry. I was told by setting someone to wait until after I've read Queen of Air and Darkness. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. Fair. I think Shiver was my first.
I did. Just read all three of them as soon as you physically can.
I think Shiver was my first read books, then Vampire Academy. Oh no.
Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. If that had been one of my first books that got me back into reading, I would have just not read. I'd have been like, oh, this is terrible, actually, I'm missing out on nothing. And I loved one of the Maggie Stiefvater. That one just was done.
I really liked Shiver. I haven't continued the series, but that's just because I'm not good at continuing series.
No, I borrowed it from the library when I was in high school, and I was just like, this is not giving me what I thought it was going to give. I was not having a good time with it. But then I read Vampire Academy and was obsessed. So can we trust my taste? Perhaps not.
I'm saying nothing.
I mean, you enjoyed Vampire Academy. You did not like the last one.
The first 5 books.
Yeah.
The first 5 books were great. It was just the 6th book.
What do you mean a 6th book? It doesn't exist.
No, but it has to, so that you can get to Bloodline.
Yeah. I want to read it, but it's just right now my brain's I don't want to. I'll get there maybe.
That's fair, because I can just keep Adrian and Sydney for myself, and they can be it.
Oh, you keep it in both. Okay.
Once the last book comes out, I will read them all again. I love how my mum also has 2 shelves on a bookcase full of Cassie books. Although we did figure out yesterday, she doesn't have Lost Book of White yet. When she read it, she borrowed mine because she has those ones in paperback. So she was waiting for the paperback, so she read my hardback. So we need to get her the paperback. Tori sent me emotional messages about Shiver, so I know she likes it. I've been reading Cassie Clare from my teens to adult years. That's just sinking in. How old was I in 2016?
For like
23.
over half of my life, I think I've been reading Cassandra Clare books.
Oh my god. That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah. But I don't have anything else about this book to talk about. Does anyone else? Other than they're so cute,
So.
which is just us repeating.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Oh, yes. I cannot wait. I was 15 when reading the first book. Now I'm 27. We don't have a date in place for the Lost Book of the White yet, but it will be within the first 2 weeks of July. We just need to figure out a date. It will most likely be a Wednesday or a Thursday because that seems to be the days that we do these live shows. Yep. But we will figure it out and get it all scheduled in. And I will tweet about it. I did it in advance this time for this live show.
You did well, didn't you?
And I feel like that's why there's more people here, because they knew before the day off. Who would have thought me being organised would have meant more people can make it to the live show? So yeah, we will let you know in advance. Thank you for joining, and thank yous for joining me. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Adios, amigo.